we've got the challenge of trying to speak to all of you while colleagues in the back are grabbing a little bit of dessert, perhaps a coffee or a glass of water, but we do appreciate your attention to the dialogue, the discussion today. It's interesting that we've all just come from lunch because we have with us today Kevin Kimm. Kevin is the Chief Executive Officer of OCP, as you've just heard. And OCP has about 70% of all of the phosphate reserves in the world, present at a number of sites in Morocco. An extraordinary amount of the fertilizer necessary to grow the food that we just enjoyed over lunch. And Kevin, welcome.
Thank you.
I want to tell you, I've spent my entire life wanting to be at a desk like this. If there was a saxophone here, I'd attempt to play it, probably not very well. Kevin, one of the issues that confronts governments, populations generally today is the whole notion of food security, food sustainability. The global population continues to grow at a fairly rapid pace. And today, as we sit here, most folks, being honest with themselves, would admit that by 2050, today, we don't know, given the amount of arable land we have, given the amount of innovation we have present today, how we're going to feed ourselves. So I want to ask you, as a guy who's been in a variety of places, I noticed you've been with Mosaic, you've been with Novartis, you've been with Syngenta, you have an MBA from Purdue, BA from Iowa State University, you've got dirt under your fingernails, you've come from farming territory, farming land. How do we meet this challenge of feeding the planet at a time when more and more protein is being used and the population continues to grow?
It's a great question, Brian. And by the way, I really like to eat as well. But no, it's a serious challenge by 2050, the growing population. And what's really important is no more arable land is becoming available across the world in any type of scale. So we must do more with what we have. So what we're committed to as an organization, we're blessed with 70% of the world's ore in Morocco, and we have an obligation to ensure that we help farmers produce more sustainable economic growth within their businesses, as well as increase food productivity. One thing that helps enable that is really just innovation. Innovation platform is really critical to the future. How to do more with less land to ensure that we feed the population. And Brian, as the population continues to grow globally, incomes are rising, protein becomes more important, as well as consumption of different types of foods.
So tell me a little bit about OCP. I mean, I've mentioned it's the world's largest reserve of phosphate on the planet, but tell us a little bit about that organization, how you became part of it, and where it's present around the world.
Absolutely. OCP is over 100 years old. We're founded in Morocco, and we're blessed with 70% of the world's reserves. And with that comes a significant obligation. And we sell in 5 continents across the world. And OCP has gone through a transformation in regards to used to be a commodity business, and it's transforming into a customization business. And what I mean by customization is knowing what the Canadian farmer needs from a pain point perspective. We listen to them, listen to the channel and logistics of how to get the products to the end consumer. And it's also from a manufacturing perspective. How do we become more sustainable, less carbon footprint? And I'm proud to say we're investing over $13 billion over the next multiple years to become carbon neutral by 2024. And we're doing that with several different fronts. One item is innovation. I'll share just a quick story with you. In our transformation for customization, we produce a product called TSP, triple superphosphate. Why that's unique is it has no nitrogen. And to grow a crop, you need nitrogen, you need phosphate, and you need potash. And Canada's got a lot of potash. It's got one of the world's largest reserves and is a leader. And we are from a phosphate perspective. But we've created a product where farmers can put application down in the fall where there's no nitrogen. You have no leaching. The plant doesn't need nitrogen until you plant in the spring. So that's an economic, it's less carbon footprint to produce it. And that's our future portfolio of our family that we're going to continue to innovate beyond with other micronutrients and macronutrients as well.
Let me just drill a little deeper into the organization. Did a little bit of homework on the internet, pulled up my Copilot AI, asked a few questions, and it told me a few things that were quite interesting. 17,000 people employed in this organization, most of them, of course, in Morocco, generating about 9.76 billion of revenues in 2024, but an innovative company doing some fascinating things to contribute appropriately to sustainable mining, if I can use that word. Can you talk about a little bit about what is one of the longest slurry lines? Now, for the non-miners, you'll have to explain what that is in the world.
Absolutely. So we're very proud as an organization that within our DNA, our values and our culture is innovation. We've got one of the largest, longest slurry lines in the world. So you have a mine here where you're manufacturing ore, and gravity, which Mother Nature provides, we're able to slurry the product to the manufacturing facilities. We don't have to rail, we don't have to truck, and it's great from a carbon footprint perspective. We also have another great technology where we use seawater from the Atlantic Ocean and desalination. So we're taking non-drinkable water and utilizing it through a manufacturing process, then utilizing desalination with our extra energy, because we're energy plus with our manufacturing process, to make potable water to give into the communities where it's arable and desert lands, where water is a natural resource that's in, it's difficult to get in some areas.
So, as I understand it, your current production, or market, I should say, in Canada, has had a phenomenal increase. 6 years ago, you were at about 1% of the market in terms of penetration. Today, you're at, I think, 26%
26%
of the market. How have you had that phenomenal growth over such a relatively short period of time in this marketplace?
You know, Brian, what we focus on is partnerships with the producer in Canada. You know, the men and women that grow the crops in Canada are phenomenal farmers, highest in the world. We also work very closely with the government and the ecosystem of agriculture, the retailers, and we do it by listening to them. How can we help them be more efficient as an end consumer? How do we work with innovation? So we partner with Guelph University, Manitoba, several universities. So we're looking at innovation here because every soil texture is different. A little background about myself. I'm a farmer myself. I'm born and raised in Iowa in the United States, and we still have farming operations active. And studies show that 65% of yield comes below the soil. It's in the dirt. So how do we maximize soil health and soil nutrition is really the key to the future to feed the world when we hit that population curve in 2050.
So you have partnerships with the University of Manitoba, University of Guelph, and I think Laval University.
That's correct.
As well. Is that a model, that partnership, that sustainability, innovation, investment that you follow around the world?
Yes, it is a model, and it's been very effective. And why OCP North America is important is because we're customer-centric. We're rolling up the sleeves, we're with our clients, we're with our partners, understanding what's going well, and then what are some innovative areas that we can really focus on. Years ago, commodity products would serve the entire market, and that was fine at that point in time. Today, you need to customize those products because every soil, every pH level is different, the cropping systems are different, and the business men and women, the farmers that run those businesses, have different needs. So how do we create products and services to maximize their operations in a very sustainable and future opportunity with them?
Okay, so for the non-agricultural experts in the room, can you give us a brief description of phosphate versus potash? Everybody knows Canada is a large reservoir of potash product. In fact, we have a new BHP mine that's about to to roll out between now and early 2026. It's going to be very large production. Can you just talk to how those two essential assets for fertilization of plant growth complement each other?
Absolutely. So this is millions and millions of years ago. Mother Nature deposited potash. It's anywhere from 2 to 4 miles underground. So you've got basically mining operations that go underground that bring up that natural resource, and then it's processed, and it's a great fertilizer for creating healthy plants, girth, high quality. So it's a must need. It's like a vitamin in a human being. You have to have it to grow a crop. Phosphates is millions of years ago deposits, and it's from fish and so forth as well. So it's ore bodies that are usually located near oceans, like Morocco or Florida, the United States, or North Carolina, those types of situations. And phosphate is a natural resource that is very critical to growth, emergence, and plant health. Then you have nitrogen, which is utilized as the other third component.
So now you're a very innovative group. As I understand it, and I haven't quite done enough research to understand this one, but I saw a reference in some of the material that I looked at to your company, OCP, phosphate-based, using that product, as you remind us, it is a mined product, for battery development. Can you share with us what that's all about?
Absolutely. So we've obviously been mining for 100 years, and we know that business very well, and it continues to evolve. But we also are emerging into what we call the energy sector. So electrical batteries for EVs, lithium ferrophosphate, a product that is the raw material, purified acid, is one of our main components. In the future, we're going to continue to grow into that market as well. And don't let purified acid scare you. It's in your Coca-Cola you're drinking today. It's in your food products, and it's just a unique opportunity there. So we're pretty proud of that. Our core focus markets are going to be Canada and the North American market, as well as the European market, as that market continues to grow.
Okay, let me share a few numbers about Canada insofar as ag is concerned, because that's a big and lively issue today. Doug Ford would tell you that it's a lively issue. In the last 10 years, for which there's data, Canadian exports to the United States from the ag community have increased at quite a healthy clip. In fact, the 10-year CAGR is about 7.2%. But to pick a select few areas, the bakery industry or product has gone from $2.4 billion to $5.1 billion, a doubling. Canola oil has gone from $1.7 billion to $4.6 billion, a very healthy increase. Beef production and export has gone from $1.5 billion to $3 billion, again, another doubling. And if you think about where those products originate from, think of Ontario being a big bakery sort of exporter, Saskatchewan, of course, canola oil, Alberta, beef. And Doug Ford was chewing on some beef today when he spoke. How do tariffs and shipping volatility affect farmer access and affect food prices today? I'm now attempting to get you in serious trouble with Donald Trump, but the room is keeping everything you say secret, and your passport will work for a few more days, at least enough time to get you home to Iowa. Carry on.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great question, Brian, and I would say it creates a lot of volatility, right? And all of you are part of businesses or business owners, and that volatility for the farmer and understand uncertainty that's out of their control. No different than our organization. At times, you can control what you can control. So we're really dedicated to ensuring that we've got a logistics network set up that we can guarantee reliable, consistent supply for the Canadian farmer. And we've established that today. When it comes to tariffs, what we're hoping to see is that there's rational minds that look at the long term. How are you going to produce enough product and enough excess where Canada can continue to grow through innovation and our products and export more? It's great for this economy. It's great for the consumer where this product is being shipped to. So that volatility, I think it's here to stay. We're in a new world. We're in a new era. I think tariffs globally are here to stay. I think they will calm down over time, but I think it's a way of the future that we have to operate, and we're going to have to find our way through that.
Kevin, you've at OCP have had some challenges of your own with respect to the ability to enter a market, operate in that market, and be successful in the market. And I'm speaking specifically of the U.S. market, where you had, I think, a healthy market share. I think as high as 15, 20% at one point, and where you ran afoul of, if I can put it that way, the regulatory regime. And so over the last few years, you found yourself out of that marketplace. Can you share with us where that journey is going and where you hope it ends up, obviously?
No, absolutely. So where that journey is going is, and I'll say this, we're committed to the agriculture community. So as we tell farmers in that market, we're not going anywhere. We will be back into this marketplace, and we're committed. And we're working through the right discussions, et cetera, to re-enter that market. In the meantime, obviously, we're committed in Canada for the long term. And that's really important. So as we look at the partnerships with the government in regards to helping productivity, it's not coming in and just a one-time conversation. It's a long-term relationship, and that's how fundamentally OCP North America has built our business.
Kevin, just to conclude our chat, and we are tightening it up because we know we're running a little late in the program. We want to try and give some time back to the program, all the while fertilizing minds with food for thought about food security. I began by asking you, how do we make sure that we can feed the planet as we look out 10, 15 years, and it's not that far out that the problem becomes a crunch? How confident are you that the kind of innovative approach that you've taken to your company's business can help us solve the problem of food security?
Yeah, but I think food security, it takes an army. And what I mean by an army, it takes government, it takes private equity, it takes private businesses. AI is going to be a big part of that. AI is not going to replace human beings, but human beings that use AI are the ones that are going to be standing in the end. So I think we have to look at the ecosystem of agriculture very differently, and innovation is going to be the key to that. And that's why we're so committed to innovate. Our product portfolio, such as TSP and that future family, we know can make an immediate impact, and we're focused there. The next horizon, we'll discover together as an ecosystem. Nobody has the answer today. That's what's important. And the answer will come from somebody that least expected. So we are collaborating across the entire sector, different businesses, and we look forward to that future journey, because feeding the world's a big item. I always tell our staff, it's a wonderful thing to know you're impacting a human being with what you're doing in your business. So it's our pleasure to continue to focus there.
Well, I think having heard Kevin, you'll agree with me that we have a fine human being and a perfect gentleman in the captain's chair at OCP. Kevin, we want to thank you for coming today and for sharing the story of OCP. It is impressive indeed. Morocco is helping to feed the planet, and the planet very much appreciates it. Thank you. Thank you, OCP.
Thank you, Brian.